I want to get really candid about my boutique journey and kind of talk to you guys about, me getting started, a lot of challenges that I've faced, how it's really challenged me to grow as a person, as a woman, spiritually, in my faith walk, all the things, because I feel like my story can really help other people. First of all, if you're new here, if you somehow find this video, hi, my name is Courtney, and I'm the owner of True by Courtney Online Boutique. I love my job. I love what I do, and I also love to share my story with others and just share my message and what God has done in my life and share a message of hope and faith for others that could be watching. The fashion industry has come a long way, but I still think we have ways to go in terms of women of color. So I go to these market events, I go to trade shows, and I notice that we are still not all there. And I know there's a lot of women that want to be in this industry, that want to be in the fashion industry in general, that want to design, that want to, do their own thing. They have a dream in their heart and it's in this industry. And I want to shed some light on that. And also, like I said, give you a message of hope. I just want to start out by saying I started this business 100% self funded. Prior to doing my boutique, I was selling clothes, like selling my grandmother's clothes. She would clean her closet out and she would give me like all of her old clothes, and I would take them and I would put them in suitcases and call people from my church and be like, hey, I got some clothes, and pretty much I was doing like trunk shows, driving around and bringing suitcases and coffee and showing people my clothes. And selling them that way. And I was selling them at like church fair, like the church bazaar. We called it like a bazaar, but it's like a church market. We have like a market day. I would sell there and things like that. So that's kind of how I got my start in clothing. I did work a few retail jobs when I first got out of high school. My first job was at BCBG, and I did like that job. I did learn a little bit there because their onboarding process and like their customer training, not their customer training, their what do you call it? Their worker training was kind of extensive, like down to like what color we could wear our nails and how we had to wear our hair, and we had to learn about body types and learn about really dressing the customer when she comes in to the fitting room and offering her accessories for her look. So I did learn a little bit more about styling and stuff when I worked at BCBG for a short period of time. But for the most part, I've always done almost everything I do by trade. I'm self taught to do my website, self taught in graphics. So I've always been a very creative person, and that's really helped me with my current job. Fashion industry is a tough industry. Even if you are a woman of faith and you are a prayer and you are a prayer warrior and you are anointing your clothes and you are anointing your home and you're anointing your office, this is still a tough industry. And I'm almost 4 years in, and I have found myself wanting to quit so many times. I've asked God, why didn't you just, if you knew this was on my heart and you called me to do this, why didn't you just let me bust through that door? Why is this not working? Why don't I have it how I want to have it? Why is my story not massive and widely known? I've gone through all of the emotions with God, and I've been very honest that I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I feel like I've posted enough and I've talked about it enough and I've showed up enough, and the long of the short of that is, you guys, is this is just not an easy industry. It's just not. It does not matter how great your collections are. It doesn't matter how much you know, how much terminology you know, who you know. We'll talk about that later. Who you know. This is just a really tough industry to break into. But it is not an impossible industry to break into. The breakthrough happens, it goes to the most consistent, the most hardworking person. How many times have you heard success stories in the fashion industry or other industries, and they say, I was doing this for 10 years and I didn't quit, and I was going to auditions for 10 years and I didn't quit. And we look at that and we're like, that's so inspiring. Wow, 10 years, until it's us. And then we think, this is crazy. I've been doing this for 10 years. Why have I not gotten where I want to go yet? So I feel like I'm in that mode of like building my 10-year story. And honestly, my brother encouraged me on that like 2 weeks ago. He called me and I was just having a day about my business. I was just like, man, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I hate this, like feeling those feelings, but I wasn't saying that to anyone. And my brother just happened to call me that day. He was like, 10 years. Like it takes people 10 years to really break through in an industry. And he's like, you're coming in year 4, and people are going to look back at your 4 year and think, wow, that was so good. Wow, I can't believe we didn't see this before. But here you are 10 years, but it's all still a part of the process. It's all still very beautiful, and it also goes with the process. So this is a hard industry to break into. If you are wanting to do this to make money overnight, or you think you're going to blow up overnight, I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm saying that it's very unlikely. And if you're going to step into the fashion industry, you have to have a lot of passion, you have to have a lot of grit, and you have to be very confident and very strong as well, because you'll be met with a lot of no's. You'll be met with a lot of days of no sales. You'll be met with a lot of days of being overlooked. You'll be met with making the most amazing content you thought you ever made, only for it to get 3 likes. You'll think you got the best collection and you'll get 3 sales. And that's a part of this industry. It's a very, you get knocked down and you get back up again. That's how this industry works. I came into the fashion industry all bright eyed and bushy tailed, like, it's going to be so amazing. Oh my God, I'll just post and it'll pop up. And I'll just make money. Oh, like, and to some degree, when I first started, I was really graced to have that experience, in some ways, because people were prepped and ready for me to launch something in the fashion space, because it was a natural progression. Like people saw me talking about fashion. They saw me with a fashion blog. They saw me selling clothes. And so it wasn't like, surprise, surprise, she wants to sell clothes. It was more like, oh, okay, that makes sense for Courtney. So I did have people that were ready to support me. But even in that, you guys, your family and your friends cannot carry your business. And it's not fair to ask them to carry your business. Now, if they love your business and they like what you're doing, I think that's the highest honor when my family and my friends shop with me, because I feel like I don't ever want them to feel obligated to. So when they actually shop with me, I feel like, oh my God, they really like this. They really love this. It honestly is a little bit more like, I don't want to say it's like more of a compliment, but I feel very honored when my family and my friends shop with me, because they don't have to, and I feel like they even have that pressure sometimes to like, oh my God, should I shop with Courtney? I feel bad if I don't shop with Courtney. And I never want my family and friends to feel like that. I want it to be a real authentic experience with my brand when they want to shop. You have to kind of go into this industry knowing that it's going to be also somewhat of a spiritual journey. I had no idea I was going to be tested so much and be brought to my knees so much and have to pray so hard and talk to God so much and get clarity all the time on what I'm doing. But I'm so grateful, because my boutique is one of my greatest joys, but it's also like my thorn in my side that constantly makes me have to go to God all the time. I have on my screensaver on my phone, walk by faith, because I have to constantly be reminded this is a faith walk. I wake up in the morning and that's the first thing I see, and I go to bed at night and that's the last thing I see. I never thought having a business would bring that kind of faith and deep rootedness in Christ out of me, but it has made me grow such deeper roots with Christ and such deeper roots with my faith, because it's honestly all I have. My business is built on that, because it can't be built on me, because I am so unstable. Like one day I'm like, yes, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, and the next day I'm like, I cannot believe I ever thought this was a good idea. And there's a lot of ups and downs emotionally for me, as the store owner. But also, I just want you guys to know that that's natural. This is natural. You're not doing something that is linear when you start a business. There's nothing linear about this. There's ebbs and flows, there's highs and lows, there's bumps in the road, there's valleys, there's mountaintops. And you have to know you're signing up for something that's not linear when you start a boutique business, or you come into the fashion industry, or you sign up for school, or you get into a relationship, or you get married. There's nothing linear about life anyways. So this will be no different. Sometimes looking at Instagram, you wouldn't know that. You look at Instagram and you feel like, oh my God, that girl looks so amazing. You might even look at my page and be like, oh my God, her boutique has to be so amazing. She must just love it. She wakes up and curls her hair and puts on lip gloss. not. We have said this forever, and I don't think we believe it, but Instagram is only what people show you. Too much of the glitz, then they won't root for you. Too much of the struggle, they won't believe in you. You have to be balanced in how you present yourself, especially as a businesswoman, especially as a woman in general. People have asked me, why don't you get on there and show yourself, rolling, like crying and rolling on the floor and boxing up stuff. And I'm like, that's not a part of my journey. My strength that I show is that I keep showing up. That's me showing my strength. And I want you guys to know that. That's me showing my strength. That's my strength. Some people's strength is that you seeing them cry, you seeing them in this really, vulnerable light. And for me, I will tell you that, but at the same time, I feel from a very young age, always had to like get myself together, whip it together, get yourself up and keep going. Like, we're not doing this. And I've had to move along in life that way for several reasons. And maybe I'll share those things later on in my story and my journey with you guys. But I'm not someone that can stay down long, and I'm darn sure not someone that can get the camera out and record it. Like, those moments be so real. I'm like, are you gonna make it? Are you gonna be okay, Courtney? Are we gonna be good? I've had some really hard times, even sitting right here in this room. Sometimes I look around and I get emotional because I can remember one of my lowest days. And by the grace of God, I am here. He saved me. I also want to caution you guys of this. Oftentimes in this industry or otherwise, we tend to think we need to learn from the who's and the what's. What do I mean by that? The big following, the big sales goals, the big sales numbers. They're selling out, they're driving this kind of car, they have this kind of house. Everything looks on the up and up, and they're selling this digital course or they're selling this mentorship program. So I need to link up with them because that's going to be my key or my answer to getting ahead in my business. And I'm here to tell you, to testify. I'm going to testify. I've done this. What I learned from doing those boutique courses with these 3 different people. One of them was actually a retail industry expert, and she does not have a store. She had a store, she had a boutique before, but she also worked in the retail industry at a corporate level. And I learned the most from her boutique boot camp. She is not selling all the frills. I don't know what kind of car she drives. She's not always showing her getting on an airplane, but she knows her stuff. And what she did was she looked at my numbers. She looked at the data. She looked at what I had happening within the back end of my store. And that's where we made our decision. The most growth from her course and her teaching, and it was one of the more expensive ones I did, but I already know over the next 5 or 6 to 10 years of my business, that will pay out. That's going to pay for itself, already paying for itself, just based on us looking at the data and making decisions that are data driven. A lot of the times we want to look at our boutique business or what we're doing in the fashion industry, and we want to make it more vanity driven. Well, if I get the right photo shoot, if I get the right lighting, if I get the right whatever clothing, that's going to do it. And how many times have you done that and it has not done the trick? I've done it. I'm guilty. I've bought, oh my God, the most expensive clothing. Some of my clothing, you guys, is $89 wholesale. Wholesale. Do you hear me? Wholesale. And I'm not even selling it for the right price point, which is something else I discovered. But well, I knew that, but I was too scared to sell it for what it was worth because I felt I wasn't worth that. But that's a whole nother thing. But some of my clothing pieces were $89 wholesale. I was doing photo shoots, I was booking studios, I was doing all the things. And sometimes inventory still was not moving. And I was like, what's wrong? I have the recipe to make it be what it's supposed to be when people see it. You have to have your business moved by data, not vanity metrics. And that's something, honestly, you can do on your own. But if you really need help, those are the kind of mentors you need to be finding, not people that are telling you to post more. A lot of people that have, if you look at them today, okay, and they are sitting at 100K followers and their businesses are booming and they're selling out and they're all the things, right? 9 times out of 10, you're looking at their 10-year. You're looking at their 10-year mark. I talked about the 10-year earlier. Not saying that they're exactly 10 years in their business, but I'm using that as a term that you can better understand. You're looking at someone who has dug deep roots already. And so they're teaching you from the basis of what they're doing right now, but it's so different from when they dug their roots. Where you're digging your roots right now is very different. The climate is different. The internet is different. It's this industry is so saturated, okay? People can buy clothes from Amazon, people can buy clothes from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, people can buy clothes from Walmart, Target, wherever. Kylie Jenner, okay? Like everybody can buy clothes from somewhere. What is making them buy clothes from you? This industry is extremely saturated. Make sure if you're going to seek out mentorship and you're going to seek out doing these courses and things, ask for testimonials. See if they're sharing testimonials. That's one good way to vet them through is like, do they have client proof? And obviously, no matter what someone teaches you, which just brings me to my next point, you cannot think latching on to a certain mentor or a certain person or a certain program is all your business is missing. All my business is missing is if I get connected with this person, that's going to do it for me. No, all your business is missing is you tapping in, you getting plugged in, you taking it serious, you getting aligned with, you need to get aligned with, you learning the real operations of running a fashion business, you learning the real operations of running a boutique business is all your business is missing. You guys, I can't stress this enough. It's data driven. It's data driven. I if I could tell you anything is that running a boutique is so much data driven, more data driven than it is the pretty pictures. It's all about you really getting down to the data and the data on your computer, but also the data within yourself. Take that personal data too. Like, okay, I say I want this, but could I really have done better in this area of my business? Or could I really have done better showing up like this? Could I really be more organized? Are there some changes I can make as a business owner that could better my business? There's other data points as well, not just the ones that you are looking at on your computer, but also the ones that you're looking at within yourself. I also want to say people that are selling these courses, I don't think that they don't mean well. I think that they mean to make money. They mean to make money, you guys. Um, yeah, they remember where they were when they started, but they also now have extremely large overhead for their business. The bigger your business, the more it costs. Okay. So once you start having all these extra overhead costs, you have bigger buildings, you have more staff, you have more inventory, you have more light bills, you have more traveling, you have more events, you have a larger overhead. You have to figure out ways to bring in more revenue to your business. So a lot of them are starting these courses because they have more overhead, which, like I said, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think that it's something that they should not do. I'm just simply saying, go to some, yes. If you have the budget, yes. Go to some, do it. Who knows? I might have a course one day. Go to some. But also make sure the ones that you go to are the people you choose to take your business's money, your money to invest into. Make sure it's the right fit. Read what they're actually offering. Ask yourself, am I making this decision because it's this person and I think they're amazing and I think they're great and I think they're talented and if I could just get around them, I'll get some of that too? Or am I making the decision based on what? Data. What they're offering. Is that really what I need? I want to talk really quickly about marketing yourself and putting yourself out there. I want to say this. If you think you're showing up enough, you're probably not. A lot of us, this is another thing about this industry. It is an industry where if you're not seen, you're not heard, you're forgotten about. You have to constantly be ready to show up and post and be present, whether it's at pop-up markets or whether it is posting, whether it's going live, because you're also entering into the business of sales when you decide to be a boutique girl, or if you decide that you want to have your own line, you're also entering into sales. So the fashion industry is comprised of so many different compartments all in one. You have sales, you have marketing, you have styling, you have the buyer, you have the customer service, you have the planner. You're signing up for so many different tasks when you decide to jump into this industry. And as the marketing agent, the marketer, you have to show up, and it can be hard. And I know sometimes you feel, for me, I felt embarrassed before. Like, I'm showing up so much, I'm getting 2 likes. This is so embarrassing. Or I'm showing up and I feel like I'm getting no likes, or I'm showing up and I'm not growing and I'm feeling so embarrassed. And I honestly just got to the point where I'm like, I don't care, because I realized too, with like posting on Instagram, you post on Instagram and that post only has like 5 minutes before they're on to something else. So it's really not that embarrassing. And also, it's not that embarrassing to market my business today because everybody else is marketing their business. So it's like, what's the difference? And also, let me say this, most people really love, love, love what you're doing. They just don't engage. They're just like, they see you and they're like, oh, I love her. I love that. I love it. But they're just not like, let me comment. They might sometimes don't even like it. They just look at it and love it. And that's okay too. Like, you're still on their mind. So please make sure that you're ready to show up and put yourself out there and be confident. You have to be very confident to step into this industry. This is not something you can do and be scared. Nobody's going to save you or feel bad for you, girl, in the fashion industry. Nobody, okay? They will run over you with the steamroller in a clothing rack. You have to be ready to show up for yourself and show up as your branded self. Like, this is me. I love pink. I love pink nails. I love feminine clothes. I love matching sets. I love to wear a good dress. I love nice things. I love a nice dinner. I love friends. I love laughter. I love flowers. I love a good coffee date. I love hanging out. You have to be ready to show up as your brand and the persona of your brand. And I've been training myself lately. If I'm not ready to show up as True by Courtney, then I don't need to go out the house yet. Um, and this only applies to work. Like, if I'm going to Kroger or if I'm going to pick up my kids, I'm not talking about that. But if I have to go down to Dallas to pick up inventory, or if I'm going on a coffee date, I don't be like, oh, I'm not gonna dress up, or I'm not gonna. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it because it's like, I am my brand, and I'm always in the business of sales. I'm always in the business of people discovering me. I can't only depend on Instagram for people to find me, or Facebook or TikTok. I'm always in the business of people seeing me and thinking, wow, she looks fabulous. What is she wearing? I like her hair. I like her outfit. Let me talk to her. There is a new customer out there for you. You have to be ready to show up. So think about that the next time you're going to dinner and you're like, oh, I'll just wear this. No, you are your brand. You are in the fashion industry. You have eyes on you. You need people to see you and think, who's that? What's that? What's she wearing? That's who you are. Okay. Closing, I would just say, if you really love the boutique industry, if you love the fashion industry, and this is your dream, I want you to know that it's extremely possible. I'm sitting in the space of possibility right now. Am I where I want to be? No, not totally. Am I much further than I ever thought I would make it? Yes, I am. Do I still have hills to climb in this industry, in this business? Absolutely. I want to design. I want to scale my store. I want to have more product offering. I want to get out of my garage, but I'm also loving being in here because this is even amazing. Like, I love my home. I get to work from home. I'm flexible with my kids. I've created a beautiful space to do it in. So there's so much great, like, good things to be grateful for in every stage of where you are. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this is to inspire you. But I want you to know the hard things so that when they hit you, you're not shocked. When they hit you, you know to get back up. When they hit you, you know this is just a test and I can make it through this. And I'm going to go look at what's working for me. I hope this video wasn't too long. I just wanted to get on here and make something because I really do want to keep my YouTube bag going. I like to talk. And I feel like TikTok is too short. Instagram, that's like my boutique thing. My personal page, I deleted it. And so I have a personal page now, but I'm not really trying to like grow it or anything. I just be posting every now and then on there. So this is where I feel like I can chat. So thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in shopping my boutique, it's shopwithtrue.com. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.